I haven't made a hat in a while. Maybe I should make a hat. Oh, this makes me so happy. The trailhead socks. Look, it's on my hand because it's gotten hot here. Do I really want to knit right now? Oh, it kind of hurts me a little bit. Hey folks, if you're new here, I'm Dawn. This is Tangled Together, where I talk about my knitting hobbies as well as all the other things in my life that get all tangled up in it. It is time for the June knitting wrap up. Not quite at the end of the month, but we're getting close enough. Sorry if there's a fly buzzing around. It's summer and we always get one or two flies that come in when we're letting the dogs in and out. You may notice evening, nighttime. I had been previously filming these videos during my kid's nap, but she has decided, done with naps, no longer needs to nap, which is a blessing and a curse. If you have a toddler, you probably understand this. Maybe someday she might go back to taking naps, but not for the last 2 weeks. And I think we might just be done because she has always been a pretty good, I should knock on wood so she doesn't wake up, night sleeper. She usually sleeps pretty much through the night, which I know oftentimes that can lead to dropping their naps earlier because they're getting all the rest they need in one go instead of in a big chunk and then a little tiny chunk. So it's been somewhat nice because we haven't been as tied to we have to rush home to get home for nap. But also means I don't get a little break during the day. She doesn't get a little break during the day. And by the end of the day, everybody needs some time to rest. That might be part of the reason why I don't have a ton of progress this month. It's also just been it's June, so I want to be outside doing stuff. Sometimes I'm able to bring my knitting along with me, and sometimes I haven't. If we're out and about, at the zoo, I'm usually not walking around with my knitting. If we're just sitting at a park, yeah, I'll bring it along. But there also have been less park days the last couple weeks because it's gotten hot here. Yeah, I am sweating. So yes, let's dive into finished objects, of which I have no, official finished objects, but I can show you something. So I did finish the first of my vanilla socks. So this is the I'm So Basic sock pattern by Summer Lee. And yeah, I'll give you kind of a close-up of it. Got the contrasting white color with this variegated yarn. Yeah, I'm happy with how this turned out. It was a top down, and I usually prefer toe up, but it was fine. It was a good basic sock pattern. I don't think I love this kind of heel, especially for the contrast color. I wish there was more white contrast here. Basically, I wish it came to here. So I might hunt around and see if there's other vanilla sock patterns, because I do like using variegated or striped yarn with a contrasting color just for, I don't know, a little bit more customization. But very happy with how this turned out. It feels very comfy. Look, it's on my hand. It feels like it's going to be a very comfy sock, and I would knit this pattern again. Because I do think this heel, because it is that oh, can you see it, or is it too blown out? It might be too blown out. But it is done in a you knit, but every other row you slip stitch, so it gives you kind of a little bit more weight to that back of the heel, which is going to get a lot of rub and tear. So I think that's going to be a little bit more durable than just a straight stockinette. Yes, very happy with how these turned out. I will be knitting the second one, but I kind of wanted a break from just straight stockinette. especially fingering, because as we move into my works in progress, you will see a theme with all of them. So yes, we have the sock. While I'm on socks, let's talk about the other sock that I decided to cast on. The start of the trailhead socks. So I decided this pattern actually calls for using a slightly larger needle size and doing like that much more that is designed to fold over. But I don't think I really love the inside of this kind of sock pattern. It's designed to be able to like fold over boots. And so I decided to just start basically at the part where you switch to the smaller needle size. So they aren't going to be a fold over. The person I'm knitting them for, I don't think would wear them folded over. So that is just fine. And that's being knit up in Patents Croy. I think this is in the Clover. And it starts out this like darker green and does seem to have some kind of color shift going on slowly. But it's basically just a broken rib all over, and then there's a really nice, I just started it. So that is the very, very start to an integrated heel, and the integrated heel is what I'm really excited about for this, because it just kind of splits the rib to create the heel. So yes, very excited to get these done. This has been a nice little break from just stockinette, but it is easy enough to remember that I'm able to have this as my like on-the-go project for at the beach, at the park, while I'm waiting at a doctor's office, and I don't really need to be constantly referencing a pattern while I'm knitting this. Plus, it's portable. Okay, let's talk about my next work in progress, which it kind of hurts me a little bit. So you may have seen the Oolong Tank in my last video, and you may notice that, oh, there's less of the Oolong Tank. Ripley is chasing flies. I realized I just was knitting up the wrong size. I needed to go a size larger so that it wasn't too like tight around the chest. I had gone with the upper bust measurement, but looking at that compared to the bust measurement, I realized I would rather it be a little bit more roomy and not like stretched. So I decided to frog it and recast it on, and I am slowly making progress on this. I've made less progress on this time around than I previously did. I think just the frustration of like having to frog it. I just haven't been picking this up as much. I should focus on knitting it a little bit more because it is supposed to be a summer knit, so I would like to be able to wear it before the weather gets too cold, which, you know, here in Virginia is going to be a long time, so I have time, but I don't want to keep I don't want to put it off until I realize like, oh no, I can't wear it till next summer. So yes, I'm going to try and pick this up. I think kind of give myself a like knit at least a couple rounds every night, because oftentimes like I'll get a couple rounds and then I'll just keep going. But if I do like 2 rounds and I'm just not feeling it, or my hands are hurting a little because with the linen cotton fiber content, it doesn't have as much forgiveness, so I have noticed my hands get fatigued a little bit faster. So yeah, I'll do a couple rows and then switch to something that's a little bit more forgiving on my hands. But yes, this is also being knit in fingering weight. It is terrapin fibers. They're linen cotton. I don't remember the colorway. I'll try and put some details up here. Very happy with how this is like looking and the color. Here's a little bit of the lace. I've gotten through one pattern repeat plus a little bit of the lace, and I've had a couple times where I've had an extra stitch, and I've not really been sure how that happened, But yes, and also, so on this time around, the first time I noticed I had these really big holes when I did the yarn over before the purl stitch. And I wasn't loving it. So this time I did a slightly different, I don't think you can really notice between the two sides. So this side is the purl side, and this side you yarn over and then knit. So instead of doing the traditional yarn over with the purl, I've actually been like not bringing it over the needle, but very loosely just having it like come to the front. So trying to explain this, I'll put the needle in, but still have the yarn in the back from having knit, and I'll put it in like I'm going to purl, and then bring the yarn to the front to get it through. And I do this a little loose, and then on the next row I just knit through the back loop. And that I found, I'd looked this up of like how to get a neater yarn over before a purl stitch, and I found that helped a lot. And I think especially because it is a linen fiber, I'm a little hesitant on like how well it's going to block out and even out that. I would be maybe care a little less if it was animal fibers like wool or alpaca, which I think has a little bit more like, my understanding is like, it's a little bit more stretch, a little bit more forgiveness, and like you can kind of block it and it will hold the memory better. So I'm glad in that regard that I am doing this a second time so that I can kind of do that little trick to have a neater yarn over before a purl. Okay, so on to my last work in progress, which is the thing I'm so happy about, and that is my CatKnit sweater. You may notice some like just one color, and that is because I finished the color work. Oh, look at that. You can kind of see like a hint of what it's going to look like when it's done. Oh, this makes me so happy. Yes, I finished the color work, and honestly, once I finished the color work, I've just been breezing through this. I've probably done this whole section in the last week, if that. Yes, just I am so happy with how this is looking. I can't wait for it to be cool enough for me to wear this once it's done. It is also fingering weight, so yes, all of my work is in progress are fingering weight, and I think that also might be contributing to some of the like, do I really want to knit right now? Just because things are taking longer, I'm not seeing as much progress, and it's a lot of like with the basic sock, as well as with the Oolong Tank, there's a lot of just stockinette, which has been nice for that like meditative, especially with this now that the color work's done. I have been breezing through it because I don't have to pay attention to the color work charts and can just be like, okay, I just need to count the rows and pay attention to the decreases. I had been thinking about maybe knitting a fingering weight like long sleeve light sweater for my daughter, but I think that's going to hold off, and I'm going to do something that's like sport or DK weight next. Before I wrap up, let's talk about acquisitions. I had not been planning on buying any yarn this month. Then Baba Sheep announced that they were going out of business, and I had to stop in. I had to say goodbye to the store, and I got yarn. I actually went in twice. The first time I went in and my daughter was just not having it, so I just kind of picked up a couple things and got out. And then I was able to go back, actually I think just a few days later, like later that week, on the weekend, and like take a little bit more time and look around a little bit. So let's talk through what I got. Yes, a husband just got home. I got a bunch.
A husband?
My husband. My husband.
A husband.
I meant to say husband or my husband.
Uh-huh.
My husband just got home. Most of the stuff I got was local dyers, just kind of stuff that I, am not going to be able to just find anywhere on the internet. I got a whole bunch of fingering weight sock yarn. I know, more fingering weight. From Kim Dye's Yarn. Yeah, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 skeins of that. Bunch of this that I'm going to do some socks out of. And then I may actually use this to do a top. Maybe get like a white or something to pair with it and do some like a fun like striped top. And then also another one for sock. A lot of the stuff there was like 1 or 2 balls of by the point that I got there. I got some of this Madrona or Haiku Madrona. It is 30% baby alpaca, 30% merino wool, 20% bamboo viscose, and 20% nylon. Also in a fingering. So super soft, I think because the alpaca. I got these 3 colors, which, again, I might try and make like a top out of it. I'm trying to decide, what do you think I should do? What would you do with these colors? Yes, so I've got these, and they are each 402 yards. So there's actually quite a bit of yardage in that. I got some Blue Sky Fiber Prairie Fingering. This is a Surrey alpaca. Is this actually fingering? I thought this was lace weight. I'm planning on using it more as lace weight. But yes, it is a Surrey alpaca blend in this gorgeous blue-green colorway. That I got 4 skeins of this, and yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Definitely gonna make a sweater out of this. I've been wanting to make something with like Surrey in it. It's just so soft, and I like it. Doesn't have the same like sheen to it that mohair does, because it doesn't have the like silk to it. So yes, planning on pairing this with probably like a nice deep green, and maybe doing a Franken sweater in this. I don't know. What would you use this for? What would you use this gorgeous color for? Let me know. Didn't pick up that much, but did get things, even though I wasn't planning on it. But it was also a little hard to say like no, especially because I knew I wanted to see like what Surrey they had, and just being able to get like a sweater's worth of Surrey yarn for like like less than half the cost. So yes, very sad that Baba Sheep is closing, or has closed actually, but I took advantage of the sale. I'd love to know what you've been knitting this month. Have you made any of the stuff that I have on my needles? How did it go for you, or are you making it right now? Hopefully next month I will have more progress. I feel like I'm maybe getting a little bit back into like my knitting, I don't know, motivation, as well as I might cast on another sweater, like winter sweater, just to have something that I'm making a little bit faster progress, because it's not fingering weight. I haven't made a hat in a while. Maybe I should make a hat. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and make sure that you're subscribed. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.